Kim, I'm so sorry to message you so early in the morning. Our car was stolen this morning. The key we had hanging up by the door inside the house is also gone, so there's a high chance it was stolen. I just got done calling the police, but we're also asking everyone in the neighborhood for any information they might have. Please let me know if you know anything about this. Even if you think it's small or irrelevant, I'd be really grateful for anything you can tell me. Sorry again to bother you. Sorry, Olivia. My signal's bad. I only just checked my messages. Kim! I'm sorry to trouble you when you're busy. If you know anything about our car, I'd really appreciate it if you could tell us. The police are investigating, but we're trying to find out whatever we can from people in the neighborhood. Oh, your car? Well, about that, I borrowed it. What? I came over early this morning and borrowed your car. Forgive me for telling you after the fact, but I'll be borrowing it for the whole day. There's no need to trouble the police over this, so see to it that they go home, okay? Wait, what? You stole our car? Wait, how did you get the key? Don't be so dramatic. I didn't steal anything. I borrowed it. I noticed the key hanging on the wall yesterday when I came over to your place for coffee. So I borrowed while you were in the kitchen cleaning up. I'm gonna come and give it back to you this evening, so relax. What are you talking about? We need it. Oh, don't be silly. I'm only borrowing it for a little while. I always did have a soft spot for your luxury sports car. Oh, I got a little excited every time I saw it parked up in the drive. I wanted to see what driving it was like. Just once to feel the roar of the engine, the wind in my hair. Thanks so much for lending me it. I'm going for another drive now. I didn't lend you it. You come and give it back right now. That's my husband's car, and it's very important to him. Plus, you're not even legally allowed to drive it without your name on the insurance. You have no idea how much trouble you've put us in. Oh, please, just give it back. Stop being such a tightwad. It's always me with you. You have 2 cars anyway. What's the problem with me borrowing one for a little while? I'm a single mother on welfare. I don't even have 1 car. And there you are with 2 parked up in your drive. Neville's having the time of his life being in such a cool car. Neville's in the car with you? But it doesn't have a child seat. If you don't have a car, that means you don't have a child seat of your own, right? Why is Neville in there with you? Do you at least have him strapped in properly? He's fine without a child seat. He's sat comfortably on my knee and having a great time. What's the harm in one day? That's dangerous. What are you thinking? What if you get into an accident? It's fine. Take a chill pill, sweetie. My boyfriend's the one driving. There's no way he'd let anything happen. You really do worry too much. It's no good for your health, you know. That's not the point. Please obey the traffic laws. Anyway, please just come back and give it back right now. But why? We went to the trouble of getting into the highway and finally just left the state. Even if you tell me to bring it back, it's not like I can just snap my fingers and teleport. You're on the highway with no child seat and a little boy on your knee? Where exactly do you plan on going in our car? Stop messing around. This isn't a joke, you know. Lighten up a little, sweetie. What's the harm? We're just borrowing it for a little while, and like I said, you'll get it back this evening. We even filled the tank up to about, halfway. So if you think about it, this is actually profitable for you. You should be thanking me. No. Bring it back now, Kim, please. such a whiner. I told you it was fine, didn't I? Oh, you're being a real buzzkill right now, you know. Stop trying to spoil our fun. Just stay out of our way. Looks like I've got no choice but to ignore you until we return it. Goodbye. What? Wait. Kim! Kim, are you okay? I saw you on the evening news. You really went and caused the mother of all accidents in our car! Shut up! This isn't the time for that! Neville? My little Neville! They said on the news he got flung out of the window by the impact of the crash. Miraculously, there's no danger to his life, but my God! That poor thing! Your son is seriously injured because of you! This isn't my fault! If that damn cop car hadn't suddenly turned its sirens on and started chasing us! If my boyfriend hadn't gotten scared of the cops and tried to swerve at the last minute to try to lose them! Your boyfriend who was driving is at fault as well. But if you hadn't stolen our car in the first place, this never would have happened, would it? To think you'd suddenly take a left-hand drive car onto the highway for a long-distance drive. It's the most reckless thing I've ever heard of. What's more, you stole it to begin with and didn't even have a child seat, instead putting your little boy on your knee. You're the worst. Why would you say something so horrible? Aren't you going to say anything to try to make me feel better? My child's seriously injured, you know. I feel awful for Neville. He didn't deserve this at all. But to be honest, this is 100% your own fault. As for us, not only did we get our very expensive car stolen, but it got so messed up in the crash, it's now a write-off. All because you decided you were in the mood to commit theft today. Shut up! Shut up! You're the one who's at fault for having your car stolen. You're constantly showing up with that flashy sports car parked up in your drive when you know a single mother on welfare lives next door. You're so arrogant that I had no choice. Oh, it must be nice having to worry about money, huh? You probably look down on me and make fun of me behind my back. That's why I stole it. What the? So that's why you stole it? What a load of nonsense. Just because you're on welfare doesn't mean I look down on you. I've never thought anything of the sort, not even once. I mean, I've always treated you as a friend and neighbor, have I not? I invite you into our home for coffee, we go for walks with our kids. And where did the idea that we're rich come from? We're not as well off as you seem to think. My husband saved up like his life depended on it to be able to afford that car. Not only did you steal it, crash it, and have it written off, but you're not even gonna say sorry? Be quiet. I'm the victim here. It's your fault Neville's injured and in the hospital. If you didn't lend us the car, this never would have happened. You have a moral duty to make this right. Pay me compensation. You can say what you like, but the fact you stole and crashed our car is just that. A fact. And nothing you say can change that. You do plan on recompensing us for that, don't you? What? I obviously can't do that. That's impossible. I'm on welfare and barely have enough to get by as it is. Do you seriously think I can afford to pay for such an absurdly expensive car? This is what you get for being so extravagant. Anyway, shouldn't the person responsible for the crash be the one who pays compensation? Which means he's the one who should be paying, not me. By he, I assume you mean your boyfriend? Well, it's true. From what I've researched, it does seem like he'll be the one responsible for covering the compensation for the car itself. That's right. So it has nothing to do with me. But surely you do realize you're obligated to pay me too, right? Because you're going to be arrested for theft? What? I said you're going to be arrested for theft. I already filed the police report, which means the police should be knocking on your door any moment now. If it goes to court and you're found guilty, you'll be sent to jail for up to 10 years and receive a fine of up to $5,000 on top of the compensation you'll be paying us. What? What on earth? 10 years in jail? $5,000 compensation? Do you think I'm made of money? I can't pay that. No. In that case, I'll take you to court and take my money by force. Your savings, furniture, appliances, anything that can be used to pay back the money you owe me will be seized by the court. By hook or by crook, I will get my money. But if you do that, I won't be able to live anymore. You plan on completely ruining my life? All over one measly little car? Would you give it a rest already? You're like a broken record. I don't know how many times I need to repeat myself for you to understand. I did not lend you our car. You stole it. You're nothing more than a lowly thief. Reading through all the nonsense you sent me just now would have anyone think you were the world's biggest victim. Have you no sense of personal accountability? Do you have any intention whatsoever of apologizing to me and my husband, the actual victims of your crime? No, it wasn't like that, I swear. I really did think you were lending me it. I didn't think it'd come to this. I thought you'd just laugh it off and let us have it for the day. Oh, I thought you were kind. Don't be so ridiculous. You take me for some kind of saint? I'm a human being just like anyone else. If something important gets stolen from me, I get mad and I want to be repaid for the loss I've suffered. But if all my things are taken like you just threatened, I'll be in serious trouble. I won't be able to live anymore. It's true. I'm pretty sure I heard somewhere that if a welfare recipient gets arrested, their welfare gets cut off. If you end up doing hard time, I think you can reapply once you get out, though. If my welfare gets cut off now, I'll be in dire straits. Neville's supposed to be going to elementary school next year. That costs money. Olivia, I'm begging you. Please withdraw the police report. Please. Kim, you really are astonishingly selfish. You won't pay compensation. You won't take responsibility. You won't even accept being arrested. Do you really think you can get away with this? I won't be withdrawing the police report. The police will most likely be showing up at your house sometime soon. When they do, please at least have the decency to accept your arrest gracefully. Please just think about this. If I get arrested, what do you think will happen to Nozomu? Do you really want to separate a child from his mother? You monster! You demon! That's not my fault, is it? You did this. Anyway, I'm done speaking with you. I'll see you in court. Bye. After that, Kim and her boyfriend were marched away in handcuffs by the police. Kim, not knowing when to give up, was adamant she'd done nothing wrong, even during the trial, insisting it was her fault for letting it get stolen. Due to that, she was found guilty almost immediately and had to give up all her savings and sell all of her assets to cover the fine and compensation she owed me. Apparently, she told her boyfriend she borrowed the car from a friend in the neighborhood. He had no idea it was stolen, which I found out when he turned up at my house, got down on his knees, and apologized profusely. That's why I decided to settle on compensation with him out of court. Neville made a full recovery, and after being discharged from hospital, I heard his dad, Kim's ex-husband, took full custody of him. As for my husband, he was pretty depressed after having his beloved sports car stolen and written off like that. But he was ecstatic when I told him he could buy one with our compensation money. He's flicking through the pages of a car catalog with a big grin on his face as we speak.
Hey, Kathy, you got time to talk? I just checked the warehouse area of the company. I noticed that your car was parked there, but a whole bunch of other cars. What's this all about?
Oh, good morning, Laura. Sorry about that. I forgot to tell you about that. I will be borrowing that open space behind the warehouse for 10 days. Just so you know. We're friends from our kids' school, so I figured it was okay. You don't mind, do you? Just 30 cars for 10 days. It's not like you're using the space anyways.
Excuse me? I really don't know what you're talking about. I talked to the office manager who oversees the property. You told him I gave you permission? You got him to open the gate and just drove those cars in. Are you out of your mind? I never gave you permission to do that.
I was planning on getting your permission later on. Anyways, you're the president's wife. I don't see a problem. We are friends after all. Just let me use it for free. Just for 10 days. It's just an empty lot. It's not being used at all. So, what's the problem?
Just because our kids go to the same school doesn't mean you can just bring your cars here and park without permission. And this is a weekday? And you bring 30 cars in here? What's this about anyway?
Well, okay. You know my son. Well, his team won the basketball championship last week. Well, in order to celebrate this victory, we decided on a 10-day trip for all the kids and parents. Since it's almost winter break, it was perfect timing. We plan to take in various basketball games and do a little sightseeing. It will be a blast for sure. The kids deserve it.
What's that got to do with me?
We chartered several buses for the trip, which leaves from City Hall. But during the week, the place is really crowded. The parking area around that place on a work week is just awful and expensive. I have to find a spot for everyone. Like I said, this is a 10-day trip. And everyone has a lot of luggage, you know. The parking fee is highway robbery in my opinion. Then it hit me. I remembered that your company was nearby, and you guys had that open space by the warehouse.
I'm sorry? Are you really being serious? I can't understand your reasoning.
The place is walking distance from City Hall, and besides, you're not using the area anyway, so I figured. Our kids go to the same school, and we know each other fairly well. So I was sure you would help us out.
You're way out of line. You can't just leave 30 cars here without even asking me first. And for your information, that area is currently being used. The cargo trucks come in regularly. We need that area to park the trucks and store the cargo. Those trucks are going to be coming and going all week. It'll be full by the end of the day. I can't allow you to park there. It'll disrupt our business.
Hey, I got an idea. Why don't you just close up shop while we're gone? Problem solved. Your place isn't some big corporation. Closing for 10 days or so wouldn't make much difference. And what if it goes bankrupt? Nobody would care.
Huh?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I really should have said that. But it's true, isn't it?
Yeah, whatever. Just get those cars off our property right away. This cannot stand. It's business obstruction.
It's too late for that. We're already in the bus and on our way. I'm sorry, but we can't return now. Please just give it up. I mean, it's just for 10 days, for God's sake. We'll be out of your hair in 10 days.
Have you totally lost it? We're not in this business for fun. This is a legitimate business.
Come on, loosen up. It's just 10 days. We'll be back before you know it. Have a little patience. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Your husband's company has connections with the company my husband works at, right? If you even think about getting those cars towed, well, I'll have my husband terminate all accounts with your company.
Huh? Are you threatening me?
Take it however you like. Okay, so make sure those cars aren't moved. See you in 10 days. Hey, Laura. We're back. Wow, what a great trip.
Oh, hello, Kathy. I was counting the days for your return.
Thank you so much for taking care of the cars for such a long time. Really appreciate it. Are you at home now? Nobody seems to be at the office, and the gates are closed. Could you open the gates ASAP? I'll have everyone get the cars out, and we'll be out of your way. Can't be obstructing business any further.
If you want the cars released, you're going to have to pay $40,000.
Huh? $40,000? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the cost for leasing out the space next to our warehouse. Due to the disruption of our business, this unauthorized parking of 30 vehicles in our warehouse area, you are insured for such damages, I hope.
What? You're not serious. Do you expect me to pay? But you allowed us to use that space for free.
I never said I would let you use it free of charge. You and your friends just drove right in and parked. You never even asked for permission. I never once gave you permission. I will have you pay for the damages to our business.
It's just parking. So what's this $40,000? It would have been cheaper to park at City Hall. 10 or 20 bucks a day tops.
Okay, I'll give you a brief summary of what this amount entails. When the delivery trucks came in, we had no place to store the goods, so we had no choice but to use the employee parking area. The employees were forced to park their cars at a nearby parking facility. That cost was $40 a day times 25 cars times 10 days. That's $10,000 right there. In addition, we were forced to lease the space for all the cargo we couldn't fit in the warehouse area. We had to lease a storage area across town, only place we could find at the last minute. So the cost of that storage area, the moving cost and labor cost for moving the stuff. We also had to lease the trucks and the forklifts. But still, we weren't able to fit all of it into the storage area, so there's damages for that. Oh yeah, and the parking cost to our clients. Did I mention the security we had to hire to watch over the stuff in the storage area? The total adds up to $40,000. Because you went ahead and used that area without permission, it put our entire business schedule into turmoil. We ended up having to cover various costs that we would not have encountered if that area was open. That's what it's used for. I expect this amount to be paid ASAP, or the cars stay put.
Huh? How am I going to pay $40,000? I told the other mothers that you would allow us to use that space for free. I can't very well ask them to pay now.
Oh, really? You know what? I contacted the club your son belongs to. They tell me you charged each member $50 per car for permission to park on our property. Is that right?
Oh, well, you know, I was just,
So that's $50 a head, $1,500. Nice. Does that mean you charged them $50 to park here? But then insisted that you park for free? Nice pocket change.
Huh? No, you got it all wrong. I would never sow such a thing. I was going to give all that to you once we got back from the trip.
Then why did you insist I let you use that area for free? I have that line conversation saved. I could send it to you if you'd like.
I was just joking around. Can you even take a joke? Do you really think I would con the other mothers for $1,500? It was all one big joke, that's all.
Oh, really? It was all one big joke, huh?
Of course. Come on, Laura. Do you really think I was serious?
Do you really think you'll be forgiven if you say it's all a joke?
Huh?
If you consider this all a big joke, you're more devious than I realized. With your stupid little joke, you caused this company $40,000 in damages, and I expect you to pay it in full. And that $40,000 is only an estimate and doesn't even come close to how much business we lost in the last 10 days.
It's actually more than $40,000?
Of course. Our business was disrupted for 10 full days. Do you know what that means? Our employees ended up doing overtime because of the schedule change. We spent hours locating a suitable storage site. If you put into consideration the overtime and labor costs, it would be more like $60,000. If we continue like this for any longer, we would have gone bankrupt. So, I'll ask you again. Did you seriously do this as a joke? You were planning on bankrupting our company as a joke. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no. I didn't mean it like that. That was never my intention.
If you, Kathy, have no intention of paying, I will draw up an invoice to your husband's company. Is that okay with you? You did say if I didn't allow you to use the space, you would get your husband to terminate our account. Do you remember that? Because you said that, I have no choice but to conclude that your husband's company is a party to all of this.
No, please. I didn't mean that. My husband's company had nothing to do with this. Please leave him out of it.
But you threatened me. You said you would get your husband to terminate our account with them. And now you say he has nothing to do with this? Now, I could laugh at that joke.
Really, it's no joke. This is not a joke. I'm sorry. Please, calm down. I'll pay. Okay, I'll pay. I will do something about it. I'll pay. So, could you please open the gates and get the cars out? The other mothers and their kids want to get home, so please.
I'm sorry, I can't do that. Like I said, if you want the cars released, you must first pay up. I don't trust you, to be honest. You may just up and run.
How could you do that? It's like you don't trust me at all. Besides, our kids go to the same school. I consider you a friend.
Do you really think I trust you after what you pulled? I feel sorry for the other mothers, but I can't open those gates until you pay for damages.
Please, you can't do this. What am I going to do? What do I tell the other mothers? Everyone has a load of luggage. What do I tell them? Please, open the gates. Please.
When I was frantically asking you to stop, you completely ignored me. Don't you think you're being a little selfish? You almost ruined our company.
I'm sorry. I was in the wrong. Please forgive me. I promise I will pay for the damages. Just let me get the cars out.
I'm sorry, no can do. Call a cab for the others, they'll be okay. I have an early morning tomorrow, so I better get going. Goodbye.
Please wait. Don't leave me hanging. Please.
Sorry. Good night. The next morning, Kathy and her husband arrived at our office. They both profusely apologized for the harm they caused and for using the space without permission. The mothers were furious at Kathy for lying to them and was forced to pay the taxi fees for everyone. As for the $40,000 that I was demanding, the amount was way over what she could pay on the spot, so Kathy apparently confessed everything to her husband and asked him to pay the damages. Her husband made her promise she would never do something like this again and agreed to pay the damages and, in addition, compensation on her behalf. I brought along our company lawyer who drew up all the necessary papers. With the legal papers in hand, they were allowed to finally remove the cars from our property and back to their owners. As of Kathy, we didn't want to traumatize her kid with this unfortunate incident. So, all involved decided to keep the whole affair confidential. We agreed to explain to the other mothers that it was all a misunderstanding, that I had mistaken the day when the cars would be parked. After a while, our business finally got back on track. What a relief. For a while there, I thought we would go bankrupt. As appreciation for all the hard work my employees put in during this time of crisis, I included a hefty year-end bonus to all employees. Oh, and I increased the security around our warehouse and adjoining spaces so such incidents never occur again.